So this is going to be my first video using KESTREL. As I mentioned before, I do plan on pretty much making a series out of any of the characters that I enjoy playing. And likewise, I also had mentioned that I was going to be starting the video with a highlight from that game, at least for some time being, just to because at this point, again, this is something I already mentioned, but any viewers will be new at this point, so I just feel like it's something to try out for a while. I've been meaning to make a video with KESTREL for a while now because ever since I unlocked her, which would be like 3 or 4 days or so, I have been enjoying playing with her a lot, and in general I think she just kind of matches my playstyle pretty well, so I feel like I've had a lot of highlight clips and so forth using her, but I feel like I've just kind of been unlucky recording wise in terms of full gameplay, because I mean, even with this one you'll see that I end up making some exceptions, because this is a strikeout match that my team does end up losing, but I feel like in some aspects the gameplay was just too good to not use it and to get the KESTREL video out already. And you'll see we only take one round, and on top of that, like, that round should have been easier than it was. But I believe I end up in the 40s, like the mid 40 range down-wise. And I believe we end the game with one of my teammates still having 0.
We only have 5 reinforcements remaining.
So yeah, well, I'll confirm that at the end. What I did this time too is I also just included a screenshot of the scoreboard, because I tend to forget sometimes to just have it up for a few seconds at the end of the match, so that was something I kind of tweaked and probably will be doing going forward from now on. But yeah, even given how quick that first round was, you can tell how this game was going to go, my team wise, because you can tell if a round is going that quickly. And I think I only died like once, maybe twice that whole round. I didn't take out any of the deaths, so whatever you counted was how many I had, so that just shows you that my teammates were running around dying on top of not doing anything themselves, kill or damage wise. I think some of my general thoughts on KESTREL, for especially just reasons why I like her, as you just saw there, I like her equipment a lot, so I like the bounce nade a lot. I like her melee weapon. I feel like it is really good throwing wise, and on top of that, like, I don't necessarily like her ability too much. I think there's something to be said that, like, I'm still figuring out how to use it, but I think it can be inconsistent at times. But her passive I do like, because I think it just goes hand in hand. She's strong equipment wise, she has the resupply perk, and then her passive goes together. So like I mentioned in the Dima video, I feel like she, just like Dima, is another example of someone who has like a really well-rounded kit, really thought out, just executed really well. I think game design wise she was made well. I don't necessarily like using SMGs in this game, and that's not because I don't think they're good. I think in reality they're probably the best weapons in the game. If anything, maybe too much so, it's not for that. I just feel like
We're out of lives.
it's more fun to use AR, DMR, for that matter. So again, I think there's just more and more things that I enjoy about her
Finish
kit.
the job. 45 seconds remaining. Time is running out.
I definitely do agree, because it seems like most people believe that the Riptide is her best weapon. I definitely agree with that. I think if anything, one of the things that people don't talk about nearly enough, and not because it is super important, but when discussing KESTREL at least, I think people don't mention enough how crazy the kick or the recoil could be on the Riptide. Especially with no aim assist playing on the PC, sometimes it could just be wild. And a little too, like, random. And obviously, that's not to say there's not things you can do, because you could burst fire almost everything and make it work, but yeah, it just seems like, in relation to other weapons, like, it's high, it's up there. So I don't know, that might be something to look into or discuss. But I definitely think she's one of the strongest rogues. I don't think she's at the place where she needs, you know, rework urgently. I think it would just be something that would make her better, but definitely not needed.
These have 5 reinforcements remaining.
This is obviously the round we end up winning, because if not, the game would end here. But also, you can just tell, ticket-wise and everything, you can see here. And I mean, at this point, you'd hope that my team wins this, because even if a lot of my teammates seem to be very new, to lose this would be surprising at this point. But yeah, here you could definitely see, especially in that little portion right there, I just really like her equipment. And again, I feel like it goes with my playstyle, because I tend to play slow, but there's certain aspects of her kit that like encourage me to push out more, be a little aggressive, so I feel like it's just a good combination for me. She's a really in-between. I think it'll also be interesting to see if they decide to do anything to the Knight or SMG, just because you know, it's not the strongest weapon, especially for an SMG. As I mentioned earlier, they're strong, and I wouldn't really say the Knight is that good of an SMG at all, so it'll be interesting to see if they decide to rework it in any way or tweak it. So this is going to be the last round here. There's a nice little melee throw headshot. Right here, so I end up throwing that nade. I feel comfortable jumping down because the nade didn't indicate that I hit anyone. So that's why I felt like I was safe to jump down, but the team happened to be there. So I think, I don't know, the nade at least was a little deceiving there.
We have 5 lives left. We're running low on reinforcements.
On top of the kick to the riptide being high in my opinion. I was also trying out a higher sensitivity at this game. I think I've settled on it at this point, but at the time of this game I was trying a higher sensitivity, so that also influences me just missing more shots, and it not necessarily only being about the gun having some kick in my opinion. Well, considerable amount of kick for that matter. Right here I'm also just playing slower because I'm trying to win, because I mean, even though this is the last round, it was decently close. And I do end up having the opportunity to clutch it. And you'll see right now because I end up dying soon. It ended up being a very unfortunate death because some of the enemy team wasn't that good, so I think I really could have pulled the clutch off if things just worked out better. Because right here I get it to be at least 1v3. And I think at least 2 of them were, you know, the stars on their team. But right here, he ends up being in the corner. I did not see it at all, especially because at that time I think I was looking at my mini-map and so forth. But yeah, there's the scoreboard.